Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for the collective. Know that energy is fluid, roles can be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So we do look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play those karmic themes, help you understand why your person's doing what they're doing, why you're attracting that person into your life, and how to shape shift the energy since there's many different realities that play out at one time. Why would you want to be bound to an energy that keeps you stuck in a place of disempowerment? Karmics, they don't want to step it up. They don't want to heal. So there are signs that tell you who a person is, that they don't really need to tell us. A lot of times we don't want to see it. A lot of times we're caught up in what we want the person to be, not really who they are. And that's what makes it karmic. It's that, again, we wind up treating that person really better than they treat us. And we wind up learning through the fact that they make us feel unworthy. They keep us in a place of disempowerment. So we always want to learn, and that's by seeing our situation through a different perception and then integrating the spiritual lesson, which is all about actually, again, seeing how we contributed to those blockages within the connection, how we contributed to the imbalances within the connection. And then we have to embody the new consciousness, which is just doing something completely different so that we can change that energetic template. And the energetic template is, again, when we go through trauma, when we're a child, we don't really remember aspects of the entire incident. That's why it's usually fragmented. But we remember the emotion, we remember the feeling. The child self remembers that. So we want to change that energetic template, and that only can happen when you go through a new experience and embody that new consciousness. So healing is all about you, yes, learning, but you're the healer of your life. You're the alchemist of your life. You have to do the work. Now, anything of any importance or relevance to the channel, you can find in the description box, including the word of the video. You'll want to know that if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me. You'll also have to like the video and subscribe to the channel. All right, now let's see what the word of the video is. And by the way, my shadow healing coaching program for group coaching is launching on Vidme. That link again is going to be in the description box. It should be launching within a few days. So I will keep you guys posted. Really excited about this to make shadow healing really fun and affordable. And it's very healing because when you heal in a group, you don't just have me that's helping you. You have again, the collective, the entire group that supports you. And that's, when we go through trauma, we go through it alone. We feel isolated. We feel that no one understands. So healing is, again, seeing the situation from a different perception. And the group allows you to do that. I teach you so you can see it, but you also get that support. All right. Vidme link, that's where that group coaching is going to be. It's in the description box. Website link is in the description box. Word of the video is in the description box. And the word of the video is Christ consciousness. Now, when we're talking of a Christ consciousness, we're just talking about all the emotions that are derived from unconditional love. So we're in physical form to learn and to manifest. And we learn through the experiences that unfold within our life. We learn through the people and the situations that come into our life. And there's very little that we have control over. We only have control over ourselves. And a lot of times we get put into situations that throw us in an imbalanced state. Again, any state that keeps you in a place of fear, again, that emotion that's derived from fear, keeps you in a place of, again, imbalance. Now, I feel like you're someone that's on your path. You're someone that's actually being the expression of love. And that's because you're doing what you love. You're giving and receiving of love, which is always through your free will. And when you are doing that, you are coming from the highest state of consciousness, which is a Christ consciousness. So even though you might be surrounded by or have a person or certain people, not just one person, but I definitely feel like you're connected to a karmic that is very narrow-minded. So again, people tend to like base who you are on past experiences, what they've gotten away with, what who they perceive that they are. And I feel like you're dealing with someone that has a pretty big ego. So what you're dealing with is someone that tends to be very cocky sometimes, but then also very insecure. And so they need a lot of healing. And so what winds up happening is it's like, it's continuously triggering you. So you know that this is a soul relationship, and we know that it's always triggering you because, hey, what we pulled here is clear family karma. So why do we get our soulmates? Any soulmate comes into our life to help us to heal, to help us restore our energy back to its original energy of unconditional love. When we're born into societies and families and cultures that make us perceive that success looks a certain way and makes us perceive that we are a certain person, it's again, we then become very rigid to those beliefs, very narrow-minded, like I said, and don't want to really see anything from any other perception, especially one that's going to challenge who they perceive that they are. So I feel like you're in a high vibration when you're in this energy and you're co-creating. You're not moving you. The universe is moving you. Is that you're giving and receiving of love. You're giving it out, but you're not in charge of what comes into your life to help you. You're putting it out in all different ways. And then the universe conspires to bring you what you need at the right time in divine timing. But again, this person like could only see you for whatever you were showing them. So maybe you work a job that's a little bit different, and like I feel like some of you are influencers and some of you again work online. So it's like, oh, look at this person. They think that they're going to be famous. Oh, look, they think so. A lot of projection. Again, their narrow mind of who do you think that you are? And so again, the situation that's unfolding is one that's made to make you feel a certain way. And this karmic is coming in to again trigger those old wounds to create number one, doubt within yourself. And then also you're being challenged whether or not you would keep this person in your life again. And people that we choose to keep in our life that create a lot of intolerances for us, like where that means we're getting triggered all the time. And it's mainly because the person's on such a lower vibration. So anything that you do is triggering them. Well, then you're in a like trauma bond, and it's all about them forming an attachment to you. And an attachment to you winds up being like one where, you believe that you need this person, and they do it by like wearing away your self-esteem. But the problem is that they can't do that with you because you're on such a high vibration. And so what's happening is that you're making this person look at themselves. And believe it or not, they have a lot of guilt because this person perceived that you were someone that you weren't. And they really didn't value you. And so what it is that you probably gave this person too much time, was too nice to them, and there's someone that doesn't love themselves. And when people don't love themselves, they, create the persona. They hide behind material things. They create the illusion that they do. Again, that's why they come across cocky. But what's underneath it is a lot of insecurity. So this person, anytime you got close to them, they would disrespect you. And you're not important. It's again, and this person also wearing a mask, they were continuously creating like personas of who they wanted you to perceive that they are and not really who they are. So you have someone that's really fragmented that doesn't know who they are but doesn't believe that they deserve love. So you know automatically that their behaviorisms are going to be very triggering. But the triggers awaken the spiritual blockages. Doesn't mean that this person feels any which way. It means that there's always coming from their trauma. They're not dealing with you from who you are. And they're not seeing things from a clear perception. They're seeing things from the distorted perception of the wounds that they haven't healed, is what I'm getting at. So anything which you say to them, they get triggered. They're always the victims, which means that you always have to go along with everything, and that means that you be the victim. It's all about power play. And then what this person does is that they wind up talking to other people. They don't get their way. They can't control. They can't control you. They have intimacy issues, which are trust issues. So for them to feel safe, they need to control you. And they're going to try to control you. Guess what? They can't control you. And so, in order for them to feel good about themselves, because they can't control you and you're not chasing all over them and pouring into them, doting on them, what do? They get attention from other people. They wind up cheating. And so, and they are the part of this person that's very sloppy about it. Because again, there's an arrogance, like, I kind of want you to know. Because it's like, how dare you not become subservient to what I want you to do? And so, and I'm not going to be around, because I don't want to be judged, but I'm going to judge you. I'm going to judge you. And I'm going to say that I'm the way that I am because of the way that you are. It's again, I'm going to gaslight you. And then I'm just not just going to gaslight you. I'm going to psychologically and emotionally, like, just just play with you by ignoring you, making you feel insignificant, where you're not going to feel valued, you're not going to feel heard, you're not going to feel important. It's like I'm going to do that psychologically and emotionally to hurt you. That's what this person wanted to do. And then again, why I treat you the way that I treat you, it's all your fault. It's because you act this way. So it's real narcissist. And so you got tired of it, which you should, because this person is really wounded. They're fragmented, and we're seeing it through their behaviors. So again, being with this person creates a lot of anxiety because you know that they're always creating trouble, drama. This person doesn't, they're not transparent. They have problems with intimacy, so they're not going to get close. What they're going to do is they're going to create a lot of drama, and your focus is going to be mainly on them. And that's going to, form an attachment style. And attachment style feels like love, where you need me. And then I get to utilize your energies for what I want to utilize them for. So there's no real emotional attachment except for the emotional attachment that you're giving this person, because this person's not capable of giving you an emotional connection. Again, they're always distracted, disassociated, checked out. So when you're in a connection with them, you kind of feel like you're there, but you're not really there. You're thinking about somebody else. Like, that's what happens over time. So they might be good for a certain amount of time, but then, for like, if they're good for a few weeks, then all of a sudden a few weeks they're not good. You feel like they're checked out, and they are, because they get bored. And they get bored in the relationship because a person can never really fill another person 100%. Is that we have to be able to do that ourselves. So the thing is, over time, this person drains you of your energy, and you're not really getting that much back. So how much could you possibly give over time? And then this person punishes you because you're like, well, you're not really contributing to the relationship. Well, I'm not, because of the way that you are. They're not focusing on what they do, but they know what they do. It's all a gaslight. It's all about control. And again, and then this person trying to get attention from every other person. So it's again to deceive, to try to get what they want. And it's all because they're insecure. Like I said, they don't come across insecure, but they do come across as lost because they're so reckless in their behavior. And again, they're rebellious, reckless and rebellious. You're not going to tell me who I am. You're not going to, you can trying to control me. You're trying to, it's again that this is their identity. I can't be loved. I don't need to change. I don't like, it's all ego. It's all ego. Being thoughtless, taking dangerous risks. Like, I want you to perceive I'm this person. Like, I'm a, like, like I keep seeing like James Dean like in my mind, but there was also like what is it like Bugs Bunny or something like that where it's like Dorothy, I'm not like I'm a rebel. Like no, it was Pee Wee Herman. It was like Dottie, I'm a rebel. It's like I'm not meant to be with anybody. It's like I need to be a loner. Remember when Pee Wee Herman said that? Well, it's like that's this person. It's like needing to appear a certain way, because it's like I don't want you to like get that close to me. I don't like being soft. I don't want to seem weak. I don't want to seem like I'm going to give in. I'm going to see, which is all this person's wounded. It doesn't make any logical sense because you'd be like, okay, like, what is this? It's again about them dominating, controlling, them again having a one-sided relationship for you to feed their ego. Because again, they're fragmented. So it's all about them again being able to wear that disguise, wearing that mask. You don't know who you're dealing with. It's again like where this person wants you to use understanding to deal with them because oh they're so hurt where let me tell you something, they want you to get swept away in the emotion. It's again this person comes across charming, it's again but it's all about them consuming you, really consuming you. It's again where it's all about like coming in and again consuming you with that passion so that you don't see what this person is really doing. Because remember, they didn't form an emotional connection with you. That would have required time. It would have required energy. And they didn't do that. It was a lot of game playing because they don't do that. Because as long as they don't do that, they have control because then you're the one that's emotionally caught up in them, right? So that's how this person operates. It's the way that they feel strong. It's like, well, then I get to do whatever I want to do. I can come in and out of your life because you have an emotional connection to me. And you're always going to want me to like show you that person that I was when you fell in love with that person. But that person doesn't really exist. That person's like a phony. So again, it's mainly to, so that you fall head over heels for them so that they can control you, so that they can manipulate you, so that they can use your energy. This person has too many love blockages. They're not capable of having a relationship. So the relationship would always be hard. You'd have to like give so much of your energy just on the everyday because this person that will look at it like you're trying to control me, you're trying to manipulate me, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that, and you're not trying to do any of that. It's that what it is you're like, pay attention to me. Don't ignore me. Don't treat me badly. Don't, it's again, over time, that creates a lot of anxiety where you're like, I can't trust this person and I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe. I'm going to use a different deck. Like I don't trust this person. I can't trust them. I feel like again, and it's because they're committed to being a certain way. And so it's again, like a coin toss. Like they're too unpredictable. And that's what you're like, I don't want to take a chance on this person because of that. You have other options and it's free will. So that even though this person has a connection to you, you're like, I'm going to use my free will and I'm going to again choose through another option where you're going to keep this person like again at bay because you don't trust them. And that's really what it is. It's like you feel like this person is coming towards you with again, or will come towards you again, and they will come towards you again. It's very soon happening now, if not that it's already happened with some love, some affection, and try to again, because they do have feelings for you. It's just there's a part of you that gave up. You don't want you there's a part of you that's like says, if I'm going to give my time to this person, I would wind up having to let go of everything else in my life. So you release them. This person, like, again, now that you're releasing them, now there's a sense of like, oh, well, I want to come in with romance. I have love. They're going to be smooth. They're going to be, and that's because you let go. And really, and also because you show that you're self-reliant, you don't need this person, that you're very capable without them. And what it is you see that all they want is like a codependent connection, that they want to possess you. Is there a spiritual connection? Yes, there is, but this person's if they're not healthy enough for a relationship. In their mind, they think you are my home. I do love you. But their type of love is all about control. It's all about codependency. It's all about dominating you. That's what they're used to. So it's again, there's always this tension. There's always this anxiety. You never know, like I said, what you're getting with this person because they're fragmented. So there's a lot going on there because it's like you already see right through them, and it's like almost like now they're like, oh, now I want to come in. Now I want to tell you how, because they're avoidant. And now that you detach from them, there's no expectation. Now they're going to come back in because they feel safe. But this is a manifestation of what happens when a person's fragmented. This is it. This is how they're going to act. And so they're always going to create drama. It's always going to be full of tension. They're always going to create jealousy because it's again, I want to control you, and emotionally, I I control you through being dominant through your emotions, where I'm coming across as being perfect, but this person feels inadequate. And I understand you might have wanted to be someone that was perfect in your relationship for this person. But if you have any wounds of feeling inadequate or have shame, that would be why. And understand it's this person, it deliberately tries to make you feel as if you don't belong. Like that's what they deliberately do. And to try to push you in a place of disempowerment because of their lack. And so they have a lot of, mixed feelings, but the problem is also they don't want to do the work. They're lazy. So even though you're balanced, this person's always going to create, like, again, be in a place of fear because they don't want to conform. And it's all about them being dominant. So what they're going to do is create illusions and keep you in a place of stressed out because otherwise they're stressed. And it's all about, that they're the authority, and it's because they have a lot of family patterns, like where they believe that things need to look a certain way. They're inherited that belief system, which leads to, again, their bad habits of manipulation. Make sure that they're not rejected, but they never ask for forgiveness. There's a part of this person that just wants you to trust them no matter how many times they betray you, and they don't want to hear about the criticism. And if you do, they're going to continually stay in a place of projecting. They never really created themselves. There's an emptiness to them because we're not our trauma. So this is why you grew very impatient and you disconnected from this person, because you see, if I'm going to stay connected, I'm going to stay in a place of imbalance because this person has burdens, and the burdens are those spiritual blockages that they never, ever, ever healed. So what you're like saying is, I'm not getting myself into a karmic contract because that's all that this would be, is a karmic contract, where this person again continually puts themselves in competition. It's all about being bound to your inner child wounds. And so this person uses a lot of sex and, again, emotional manipulation and physical, contact to keep you stuck in a place of your trauma, because no one volunteers to do that. But there's a past life connection, and it's all about this person keeping their self-image. They don't care that you would be sad. They can't help it. It's like it's the way that they are. They're too wounded. They're just too wounded. And so again, you say anything to them, they're going to be a victim. They're impulsive, so you never know what you're going to get because they're always acting from their wound. And again, it's all about their avoidance, with to again not just avoiding you but addictions, because they feel again inadequate, like there's something wrong with them. So until they actually heal that, what are they doing? They're not really doing anything. They want to, like, they're holding back, but they're going to eventually become like impulsive because they can't. And there is feelings there. It's just there's so much fragmentation, and this person wants to act dominant, and they don't want to be transparent, and they want to not show any vulnerability, that, you know, you don't trust this person. You see, I don't want to go into a codependent connection. You see that they're fragmented, and that's the type of connection that it would be, that it focused too much on the physical, not enough on the emotional, and that it would be them emotionally manipulating you all the time. And you're like, I don't want that, because it's a trauma bond. And when you're in a trauma bond connection, it means that you're in a relationship with a narcissist, someone that, continually makes you feel inadequate because they're inadequate. Well, meanwhile, they're sucking all the life out of you. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. Well, the number one card, inner child wound card, is oppression. And that is like kind of like, again, the person stepping on the child's head. So there it's not just a little suppression, it's again oppression. It's like by force. And that's why I don't like this person. Because they're going to dominate you, and they're going to dominate you through physical, like through sex, through the emotional connection, and then to get what they want to get because they're codependent. They're going to suck the life and utilize you for what you have and then dispose of you because that's what they do. And so it's again guidance. So growing up with a parent that tried to oppress you means that you had a strong intuition, that even though there was no guidance from a parent, you grew, like, again, strong intuition, and the guidance came from inside of you. So again, that you're a very strong person. Again, look, resilience. Again, that you're a very strong person, and that's a gift that you got. So this person thought that they were going to wear you down. They thought that they were going to wear you down and wear you down and like affect you and affect you by, oh, look, suppression, oppression, and suppression. And so, through again emotional and psychological abuse, through just not being around. You're not important. I'm not going to give you anything. If you say something, I'm going to retaliate. I'm going to first ignore you. And then when you keep up on it, then I'm going to force it. And I'm going to make you feel like shit about yourself because I want you to not have boundaries. I want to be able to treat you how I want to treat you. And so, thankfully, you did have hobbies, you did have interests, you do have other things going on in your life, and you wound up feeding those areas of your life, which is what gave you the balance. The anchor is that there wasn't an anchor. The only anchor you ever had in childhood was your hobbies, your interests, being able to entertain yourself. And so, again, you think, thankfully, that you relied on that in order to change the energy, which is again why this person like is a little bit like, they're triggered a bit because it's like, listen, you got away from them. And so again, self-sabotage is when we're around a parent that teaches us to, give of our energy continuously, even though we're emotionally not getting what we need. There's no emotional connection. So we detach. And so detaching means that we don't have an anchor to ourselves. We're no longer in our body. And so, um, and then just someone that's continually oppressing you and suppressing you, and they could be oppressing you by making up lies about you, gaslighting you, to doing it through any emotional means. This was about you getting strong within yourself, and thankfully you already had developed that, and you already developed that because you detached a long time ago. And this, even though that this person like abandoned you, the guidance came not from parents, like I said, it came from your higher self, the God part of self. So you were never really alone. And so even though the environment kept trying to suppress you, didn't matter because you escaped through your hobbies, through your interests, through your own imagination, through your own mind. And I say that because of disassociation, because that's what happens when we are escaping, you know, but that trauma, the child that survives thrives because again, they're in their imagination and but they're showing resilience because you're not wearing like you weren't able to get worn down, right? Emotionally manipulated. And so it didn't mean that it didn't affect you. It affected you. Traumatic. It was traumatic to you. You grew up in an environment where you were suppressed and oppressed. You weren't allowed to be yourself. You were, again, it was done meanly. It was done psychologically. It was done emotionally. But what happened is you got such a strong connection to the higher self, the God part of self, that's what makes you resilient. So people tend to misjudge you. This person thought that they were going to wear you down, and what they see is that you're resilient. If anything, it may brings out that person feels more inadequate themselves. They again checked out. Didn't matter. They can't stay drunk all the time or wasted all the time. So yeah, they're going to be impulsive because they still have feelings towards you. They're just fragmented from the trauma. They would like to just keep the relationship at a physical level because of their inner child wounds, but you know, it means that this person was victimized before, so they need to be in control, which always makes it like the relationship more like a competition. Again, to be where contract, because when you're not getting what you need, and the karmic contract is based on the family patterns that you grew up in, and the family patterns that that person grew up in. And then there's a whole lot of stress and the person never apologizes. And if they have a lot of burdens from past relationships, then they're coming into the relationship imbalanced. And so, again, it was a good thing that you grew very impatient because this person kept trying to project their BS onto you. And what it is that over time you were like, relationship is empty. And then you're going to blame me, criticize me, when all you do is betray me, like in that you betrayed the trust. And so, again, it's all about manipulation. Manipulation because you're afraid of rejection, but you don't have a problem fully rejecting me over and over and over again, making me feel bad. That you're in your old habits, there's a fear of change, and you're the sick person that's trying to run the show. Again, full of anxiety, creating illusions to get me to conform. This is where you are, and I don't want to be connected to someone that makes me feel fearful. Again, that I'm continually having to say something is again because I am balanced, but this person's too lazy to change. Again, always coming from a place of lack to keep me in a place of disempowerment that makes me feel like I don't belong. But then they're going to act as if they're perfect. And then the whole while trying to make me jealous. So again, continually emotionally manipulating over and over and over again. And it's again trying to wear you down to make it codependent, to dominate you, to control you. But does this person feel like you're like home? Yes, but they're fragmented with their own spiritual blockages. So you have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Because they will they come back into your life? Yeah. And they're gonna be impulsive and they're gonna pour it on thick, but they underneath it all, they're still wounded. So again, you have free will. Some of you guys will actually think that you can work with this energy. I wouldn't recommend it because, again, if your mind is trying to make this relationship work, it's not on creating yourself, it's not on growing yourself. And then you're in a karmic contract where over time there is no more you, there's only the relationship. And then this person disposes of the relationship, and you become terrified because you gave all your time, all your effort, all your energy to the connection to keep the connection surviving and thriving. And the person didn't put in any energy and they're actually fucking bored of the connection because, hey, it's all about how much you give, how much emotional connection you give to something, and this person didn't do it. They didn't want to do it. And then the fact that they didn't want to do it, well, they think that they can come in and then trick you through again making you perceive that they fell head over heels, but it's all about them coming in, getting that emotional connection, and then utilizing you for what they want to utilize you for. They're not interested in really a relationship. They're fragmented. They think that this is what love is. That love is about dominating. Love is about utilizing the other person's. We're together. I can utilize everything that's yours. Yours is mine, and I didn't really have to work for it, and I didn't. And you love me, so I don't really need to respect you. If I have a temper tantrum or I get mad, you just need to forgive me. And it's that's the family pattern that they grew up in. And it possibly was the family pattern that you also grew up in by the way that you were treated. And Spirit says that's pretty much, the energy there. And so it's about you like actually embodying a new consciousness because you can't change that person. You can't change them. You can only change yourself. And you have to say, well, why would I even, you know, uh, what am I supposed to do with this energy? And the energy, the emotional energy from dealing with this person is fire energy, and you have to transmute it. You have to do something with it. Otherwise, it stays in your body and you become a magnet to more of the same. So, Spirit says, nurture the light that's within inside of you to guide you in the dark times. Like, become yourself. You grow that energy because you're not what this person said or how this person made you feel. You haven't created enough of yourself. So that energy imprint was inside of you to begin with, where someone made you feel that way in childhood. But really, it's again, there are gifts there that you haven't fed enough, and it fed creativity. So it doesn't mean that you didn't escape, but Spirit says feed it more to become yourself more so that it can sustain you financially. So you can, again, where it makes a way where there is no way, meaning that yes, you have put in energy, but you need to do more. Because, and the way that you heal the vulnerability is to be open to healing your faults, but again, to embrace your true authenticity. So again, becoming more of yourself, knowing who you are. Because again, you didn't weren't seeing yourself truly for who you are. So there were spiritual blockages that needed to be transformed. And that's why you connected to that person. So that you can now go free and listen to the wisdom of your own soul guiding you, aligning your actions with your values, so you can attract what's more in alignment for who you are today, not the wounds of the past, and by creating a strong, sacred space so that you can, again, really connect to that higher self, really have a connection so that then you'll be called to take that bold action and you can trust. It's about learning how to trust yourself, not what's happening in your environment. Remember, we have no control over what other people do, what's happening in our environment, but we do have control over ourselves. And when someone makes us feel bad, we need to grow the good within inside of us. We need to nurture that. And so, because that is what's going to create a way where there is no way, that creates a new life that connects you to different people that treat you differently. But we have to go through these experiences and embody them again to really fully integrate the spiritual lesson and then transmute that negative energy. Otherwise, the energy just tends to linger, and then we, you know, bring those experiences into new experiences, because it's still an energetic imprint on our mind. But when you take bold, action, you do meet your tribe, you meet people that are going to support you, and understand that you may not be on the path that everybody else takes. You're on the path that is less likely traveled, like the road that's less traveled. And that's when you're living your bliss. You're living true to yourself. And that's what Spirit's saying. It's like to be strong enough with yourself to live your truth. You know, it's always going to trigger people because a lot of people work jobs that they don't like, or they, try to become someone else. You're living authentically and unapologetically. So it's going to stir up, feelings, especially with this person that wanted to come across as if they were superior. Understand what you're making it look like is no, I'm superior. It's like you finally had the epiphany, you finally had the awakening. You're like, I see like being in a connection with you, it would just bring more negative karma. And really that's why I feel like there are new opportunities happening. You're again on the right path. It's just you don't see it because it's like, well, it's my own way. And Spirit says it's the right way. You're supposed to be listening to yourself, which might have not been that easy to do if you were brought up in an environment that made you feel as if you should settle for less, and that this person is making you feel like that too. It's about understanding that you can have whatever you want. If you can imagine it, you can create it, that the divine is always supporting you and that you have to have faith and not settle. And this person wanted you to settle, and you didn't do that. So, which means that you passed the karmic test. And again, you weren't going to fall for everything. And understand that Spirit says it's all about having everything turned back to light, meaning to work to improve yourself, embrace all that life brings to you, and transform the darkness into light to allow yourself to grow and become stronger. And that's why you attracted this person into your life, to fully heal, to integrate those old spiritual blockages, and to see a different version of yourself, and to, you know, um, to be able to go into your future without bringing this baggage, childhood, you know, trauma into your new experiences is why you had to go through this. You didn't fully integrate or transmute the spiritual lesson. So that's why fragments of it continue to play out. And that's within the past relationship, like a person acting like a superior, person acting like I can still get what I want without having to put in the time. I'm going to make you feel this way. I'm going to make you feel this way. At the end of the day, what you learned is no one can make you feel anyway, only if you really need to heal. So, did this person teach you something? Yes. But now that you learn the lesson, you don't need to have them in your life. And that's what they learned. They never thought that you would, detach. And but you did, because what you see is there's no real purpose for you. You already showed me who you are. Thank you for the lesson. You made me into a better version of myself. But I'm not, you're not coming with me on this journey anymore. I'm going to leave that there. You let me know how you resonated, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye bye.